So we don't understand everything about someone because we could assume that we know everything, that we could have many conversations, that we could be in relationships with people for many years and they don't share everything with us, but then they share everything with someone else. And sometimes we need that person that we want to vent to release that pressure and to really reduce that stress. And because we don't have anyone else, because what we want to do is like share these things that are bothering us and is really finding support, someone that will listen to us. And there's many coaches out there that will tell you that we're not supposed to be solving problems, and therapists will tell us, don't solve people's problems, don't. And we could get into the trap because we feel bad. We feel bad because in our heart we see them being vulnerable. We see that they have no one on their side, that not many people believe in them, and that they don't have a lot of support. We know that they want their dream, they want to live a better life, and then things happen along the way. You get comfortable. You get really comfortable with this person, and that you talk to them a lot and you share everything, and you open up. You open up. You let your guard down because of the past. The past creates trust issues because there's always someone doing something that makes us, reluctant to move forward, because they may cheat on you. They may not follow through with their word. So essentially they're making false promises and saying that, yes, I will take care of you, I will do anything for you, that you are everything to me, and I will do anything for you. And then all of a sudden they just leave. They leave that person high and dry, and that really hurts that person. They may never overcome that betrayal. It is a betrayal. It's a betrayal of trust, that they trusted this person, and then all of a sudden this person just says, I'm gone, that I'm not choosing you. Or you could have a roommate that says, I'm leaving, they didn't pay their rent, and because of them you're losing your place, and now you're going to struggle to find another place because now you got bad credit, you got an eviction. But they don't care because they were saving up and not paying any rent, and then they've already had other plans. So this was a situation I had almost 20 years ago, that I knew someone for several years before that, and I consider them a good friend, and I would always help them out, but they would put me in bad situations, really tough situations that you're always losing. That they do something, maybe they drive without their license. They didn't tell you that they didn't have a license, and then they take your car, and then all of a sudden your car's impounded, and now you have to pay for it to get it out. And then they don't pay rent at your place, and then they take everything, and then they take your stuff. Like one day you come home, and then they've taken a lot of your stuff and their stuff, and then you're like, I'm done with this person. And then they show up again saying, I'm sorry again, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, you feel like that you could be friends with them again, and then you trust them one more time, and then they totally ruin everything. They don't pay their rent, and then I think this person was trying to commit suicide. Like, you stopped them because they had a gun and a Bible, in the car, and you're like, what are you doing, dude? And they're saying goodbye to you, calling and telling you that, thank you for everything. They're talking as if they're already gone. Thank you for everything you've done for me, but I can't continue this life anymore. So basically, the way that they're talking that they're going to end their life. So then you get home and then you find them in the parking lot with a gun ready to blow their head off, and you stop them. So you are always there for them. And you stop them from committing suicide. And then you say, okay, you can stay longer, and then they don't work as hard, and then they start to get into your life. They start to ask you like, hey, I want to borrow money. So a person that's not paying rent, is not working, has almost killed themselves, has created problems in your past, is now questioning why you can't loan them money when they're not even paying rent. They're just there, and they're staying in your place, and then they're asking you, well, how come you're able to go out with your significant other, and you're saying that you don't have money, so that's how they're talking to you. So you know that this person is not good because of all the things they've done in the past, that the way that they lived their life, and that they had anger issues, that they will always try to start fights with people, and they cost you another apartment before that, and that you're willing to let that, overcome that. You're going to forgive them because we were supposed to forgive people, right? So, and this person is eventually the reason why you lose your apartment, and that you experience really tough times, difficult times that will go for many years. But you realized that this person created so many problems in your life that were really detrimental to everything, your credit and a lot of things, and it created debts and made your life harder. And you had a dream. You had your dream. Like for me, it's my Hollywood dream. And you allow this person, so you're self-sabotaging yourself. You allow this person to come back into your life many times, and that they block you, and that you realize that you gave them too many chances, and that this one last time, it was going to be it. It was going to be it. Like you were not going to do it. You're not going to deal with them again. So you were being smart. It was not like that you weren't able to trust people in the future, that you were being very smart. You're being smart. You're thinking about your future. You're saying, you know what, this person is bad. They're toxic. They have taken a lot of money from you. They have never followed through on any of their promises of paying anything back. And they would always use, say they got into an accident, they would use that lawsuit, saying that this imaginary lawsuit as a way to get more and more and more from you. So then they would continue to stick around, and you would continue helping them, and that it just got to the point where when you lost your last place, you're like, this is it. And that you knew to end that and never revisit that again. So for me, that was almost 20 years ago. Next year would be 20 years. I never revisited that friend. So then you continue to trust people because you're not going to change who you are. You don't want to self-sabotage. Because one time at a gas station, I was talking to somebody, and they said that they wanted to work on not self-sabotaging because of people taking advantage of them, of treating them poorly, and that they found themselves self-sabotaging, not trusting other people, and it was hurting other people because they wouldn't help good people because of these other people. And that's something that I know not to do. I'm strong enough, and that I realize that not all people are good, but I don't go around thinking that every person is bad because of these people, or I can't trust this, or I can't do this because of that person or this situation. That you realize that sometimes things happen. It's life, and that it could be difficult, and you can have tough moments, but that you have to be positive all the time. Because if you start being negative, you start saying that I can't trust this person because they betrayed me, and that this person did this, then what you're doing is creating negative energy And if you're always thinking, I always have bad luck, I meet the wrong people, and that they're always doing this, that they're always judging me, they're criticizing me, they think they could tell me how to live my life. There are people out there that do that. But for me, I've been accused of control or telling somebody what to do. But the thing is that I wasn't trying to do that. That you're trying to, because if they're always complaining all the time that these people are blocking them, this is hurting them, they can't do this, they don't have no time, that they can't focus, that they have no space, that this person doesn't respect their boundaries, and then you listen to all that, and you're there, you're supporting them. Like top personal coaches say, support them, listen to them, and you do that, and then it becomes a chronic problem that they don't really talk about what could happen if you continue to be that person that wants to listen to them, wants to support them, and says, okay, give suggestions and share your opinion. But when they start coming to you like, don't solve my problems, don't tell me what to do, but then they come saying, I need your help. And then you try to help them, and then they say you give them pressure and that they need to step back. They'll reach back later. So then you find this person going in and out of your life. In and out of your life, like they're here, they're not, they're here, they're like wishy-washy. 1 minute they're like flip-flopping, like they want your help and you try to help them, and then they complain that you're trying to tell them what to do. So then you get confused. And these are people that have trust issues and they act a certain way. That they're angry, that they complain, that they push back because they admitted that they have trust issues, that they have been taken advantage of, exploited, and that people have wanted things in return for helping them. And that when somebody finally comes into their life and wants to do things for them and tries to make a difference in their life, that they don't believe it. And they don't believe in their dreams, they don't believe in their talents, they don't believe that people could do things without anything. Like they don't want nothing back. They do these things because they see that they see what they're going through and they understand. And that they know that they don't have any support, the support that they need to achieve like what they want. And you know that you could help them, but then they're not believing in you. They're looking at what you haven't done, but they'll listen to other people, but they won't listen to you. And it's very easy for them to be condescending, to be petty, to be vindictive, to just look down on you, to belittle you, and start to make it look like that they're way better than you. That they've been on these sets, they've done this, they've done that, and the truth is that they haven't done the right things, that they haven't advanced what their dream, that they keep repeating the same things all the time, year in and year out, and they don't see it because it's impossible to tell them what you see and to share things with them. So these are people that when they have trust issues, that they're not going to really say let down their guard. Like they're not going to like say, they're going to be, they're going to pull back a little. That they could trust, but maybe not so much. They're not going to trust you all the way. Like all the way where they say, you know what? I believe in you, and I know that you have good intentions, and that you do want to help me, and that I believe in you, and I trust you. And they don't. When they start to tell you that I can't give you what you want, or don't have expectations, don't hope for things. And what they're basically telling you is that they think that they assume. And assuming is deadly. when you start to assume or accuse somebody of something that you don't even really fully have all the answers, that you're like, I'm not going to listen to this because this isn't it, but then they don't listen to it, so they never know. It's almost like yelling at somebody about something when they were going to tell you something else. And that becomes a problem. That becomes a problem in many lives. The ones who have to deal with these trust issues and that they don't believe that there could be people that are different, that are better, that they will sabotage, they will self-destruct, and that they will really ruin meaningful relationships that they should have protected if they really cared about their dream. And that is a problem. Because of the life I lived, I'm glad that I am who I am, because I've had people betray me many times, and I don't have trust issues. That I trust people. I'm still nice to people. I still smile. I say hi. I'm willing to meet new friends, and that I'm willing to help people. So I'm not looking at the past. I don't even look at the past. I know the past is teaching me. If I looked at the past saying like these things happen, and you get frustrated because you want something, and then because of the past is blocking you financially, or this different things that you put yourself into, like debts, your credit, that you're in situations where you can't make decisions like you used to because of the past. But if you maintain a positive attitude and that you say, okay, I know that the past is teaching me something. And if you reflect back to the past, through like introspection or through self-observation, realization, that you will improve your life. Because the past is not like a predictor for the future. It's just that these things happen and we have to be more like self-aware, but we're not like supposed to like just cut all people out of our lives and say, you know what? I don't want that person in my life because they're judging me. I don't want that person in my life because they are invading my boundaries. That you have to believe. You got to believe in people, that most people mean well. There's going to be some people out there that will take advantage of you, but that's when you have to be like careful, like have good instinct, intuition, and just know that, when somebody is like asking for something that's kind of like crossing lines, we say like boundaries, but if someone's there for you and then you refuse to trust them, you refuse because you think that they want something, and you're rude to them, and you're like warning them on what they say, like, don't say this or I'll be rude to you, don't do this or I will cut you off for a month or 2 months or forever. Then that they're starting to like threaten you in a way of like, if you say this, I'll disappear. Then you're dealing with like really toxic people, that they may be aware of toxic people, but they're not going to identify themselves as toxic. And the reason why they're not going to identify themselves because nobody wants to be low value. Nobody wants to be a low life. And nobody wants to be, fall into that pot of these type of people. Just like, when we had the election with Donald Trump, and people, when people said that, when Hillary Clinton said that some of his supporters, Donald Trump's, were deplorables, that they got really offended and that they fall in this pot, and it's almost like bad quality. But the thing is that could be the example is like that. Sometimes we could complain about people, and that we could complain that somebody's judging us and that somebody's putting us down or trying to control our life, and that we could be doing those same things to other people, like projecting negativity. So if people project negativity to us, then we do it to somebody else, because we either know we're doing those things or we don't. And when somebody tells us that we're doing those things, then if we continue to do it, then we're being self-destructive because we're ruining these relationships that we should protect. And that's why trust issues is something that we should try to overcome. Like, find out what is blocking us. Why do we behave this way? Is it this the way we are? It's our personality, or do we act this way because somebody in the past has violated our trust, and that we feel that it's going to happen again, and that we don't want to get hurt again? The thing is that we don't want to get hurt. We don't want to get embarrassed. We don't want to be put in situations where we have more pressure, more stress, where we get frustrated. There's a number of emotions that we could experience if we continue to trust people that it's the same type of people. It's almost like they're drawn to us, like that bad energy comes to us. And sometimes there's people out there that have bad people around them, and then they lose their energy, their time, and then they do that to somebody else. So now they're shifting that to someone else. So they complain about this person doing that, and then they do it to somebody else. So it's almost like they're not self-aware that they're doing these things, or they know they're doing it, or they know they're taking advantage or acting a certain way. Instead of saying, you know what, because that person's in my life, they're creating problems, and now I'm creating problems for you, that I apologize for bringing these problems to you because of that person. And then you could say, like, no, it's cool. I'll try to help you. I'll try to help you the best I can. You know, I'm going to help you, but I don't want anything. I'm not trying to, like, you know, I need a guarantee that I need to be in a relationship with you, that I'm not trying to have sex with you. So, I mean, these things can happen naturally, but I'm not using that, like, that help is a ultimatum or some type of exchange, like, that if I do this favor for you, then you better do this for me. You better, like, you know, give me something in return. Like, you better put out, you better, like, you know, do me a favor and not say no. It's none of those things. But because of the life that some people live, that they're very, they can't trust. And it could be connected to childhood. It could be something in the family. It could be something that they dealt with many times, or they just somehow meet the same people over and over again. And instead of, like, gaining confidence or improving their self-esteem or solving financial problems, that they have this need. And if they have this need, then they're going to put themselves in these situations, and then they're not going to trust, because they're going to say, these people control me. But then why do they control you? Why? That's what you ask. You say, why? Why do I have trust issues? What is the reason? And if it's like, okay, it's because of money, then why do I have this money problems? Because I can't be independent. Why can I not be independent? Because I'm codependent. Why am I codependent? Because I don't have responsibilities, because people around me, the ones I meet that are not good for me, want to do everything for me. And now I'm, like, put in a position to where now I can't be independent because I'm reliant. I have low self-reliance. So these are the things that you could ask yourself. I mean, if you have trust issues, you want to solve them. You don't want to go through life not trusting people, or just partially trusting people, and giving people a hard time and telling people, you know, like, don't expect anything, or I can't give you this, or don't hope for anything. Then you start to, you know, raise eyebrows. Then these people are going to like, what is wrong with you? And even if you share everything with that person knows everything about you, like a good amount, because you're not going to share everything. You're not going to share the private things that nobody knows, like your thoughts and some things that you may, you know, think when you're alone. But you share a lot of stuff with some people. And if you share a lot of stuff, then you're going to tell that person, like, you think you know me, you don't know nothing. So sometimes they get very defensive, and that they put up this barrier. So they let their guard down, and then when they feel like they're vulnerable, then they put this barrier up, because they're it's almost like this instinct of like, like when animals need to protect themselves, like because against like their enemy. It's almost like they view you as like this enemy, like I need to be careful now because this person knows this stuff, and I don't want them to think that they could control my life because somebody else is already doing that, or people are telling me that I can't accomplish something. So now when this person says something about effort or energy or time, then they're just going to jump down that person's throat, and they're going to feel that that person is like not recognizing their hard work or all the things they've done. So then they start to like have low confidence and lower self-esteem because they're not believing in themselves. Because if somebody says something to us, sometimes we could say things that we could call people out for saying things, but when you're like ending meaningful relationships because you think it's easier to save face, then you're really not doing yourself any justice, because you're wanting to hide behind your problems, the problems that you complain about, and maybe the problems that you could like your problems. Maybe you like the drama, you like the conflict, and you need that in your life because maybe what you want in life is not, is exciting. Your life is boring, and that you're not achieving the things that you want, and the hard work that you're putting in, you're not getting the results. Or maybe you're getting some results, or you're not, things that you desire, that you need are not happening. So that's when you have to be patient and have that perseverance and just really maintain your passion and keep your drive up high and be positive and just really, be persistent. See, there's a lot of like really positive traits that we should look at instead of like really falling back on the negative traits, like of things that people identify as being negative, when you're taking advantage or having, low confidence. Because you have low confidence, then you're not going to really be able to compete, because you're going to be really comparing yourself to everyone, and you're going to find, you're going to have self-doubts, because, trust issues create self-doubts. They do. That you have self-doubts because you don't trust that the time that you're going to put into something, if it's going to deliver back what you want. And when you start to focus on results, that it's going to do that. That we should focus on effort, reward effort, put the effort in. If you keep practicing, you can become good at something. And if you become good, you become better, and then you can become great at something. It's just that we have to find ways to confront our trust issues. Write down what caused your trust issues. It could be one thing, or it could be many things, and then just really find ways to just really confront them. And if we confront them, then we have a greater chance to overcome them, and then we can start trusting again. And if we trust again, then we give ourselves an opportunity to meet good people, and that could develop into close relationships, close friendships, and that we could talk to somebody that has similar interests, and it could be fun instead of isolating ourselves because we don't want people to to find out things about us, and that we start to worry about how we appear to other people. And that we should not worry about that. We should worry about our value, and respect everything that we've done, and just really love ourselves, so we have a future, that we don't give up, and that we don't return back to a life that was not good for us, and that we have a chance. We have a chance to get the better life, but we can't block ourselves. We can't say that all these things are blocking us and that we can't trust something. We have to be fair to ourselves, because we live this life once. And why do we have to, if we keep self-sabotaging because of trust issues, then we're not giving ourselves a fair opportunity to live our dreams, to achieve goals, because people are telling us, we get a lot of say clutter, negative vibrations there's really negativity. Like, people are telling us like how we should live our life, and that we need to get a real job, and we need to do this and that we have these things because of 20 years ago, and because of all the things that we did, and we're irresponsible. And like, it's easy for people to say things to us, but when you have that person that's willing to be honest with you and tell you the truth about everything about you, and that they're brave enough to do that sometimes we should listen and not feel offended and not get defensive. And I think that if you are cautious, but you can still trust that you have a good chance to live your dreams and to live that better life that you deserve. You just have to know that you deserve it. So this is the end of trust issues. Until the next time, value yourself, respect yourself, love yourself. Peace out.